Alright guys, it's a new day and a new recording session. So, we got a lot of things going on today, and I'm going to tell you some things I'm doing here at the start. So first and foremost, I'm building up some military production over here in Alaska so that it can actually stand on its own, because as of right now, it's pretty much detached from the rest of everything. Sure, there is a road connecting it, but the supply on that road is not so good. It's better now that I've been building up stuff, but I can't build up stuff in all of Canada. As you see, a lot of Canada's roads here are empty of supply, so this is just the best way to deal with that. Another thing I'm doing is I've deconstructed all of the radar stations I built because I realized the air defenses have more range in terms of viewing than the radar stations. So that frees up some spots in some naval bases I made. In addition, I've gone around to every Pacific island and some other important key areas in Indonesia, and I built up a lot of fortifications, you can see they're building now, on all of them. Made sure they have seaports, air bases, fortifications, gun emplacements, and air defenses, because I want to make these islands essentially impregnable. I want to make sure nobody can get through my Pacific holdings ever. My initial war plan was the Pacific war plan. I hoped to take control of the Pacific just as NATO ensures me control of the Atlantic, to make sure that it's essentially a big ocean buffer in between me and my enemies. So this is just doubling down on this strategy right here. Another thing I want to say is that I did figure out something I didn't realize about the start of this scenario, and that is that at the start of this scenario, the USSR actually starts out with the combined military size of the USA and China combined, due to the historical demobilization in America and demilitarization in the late 40s. The USSR never did that. Their military production at the start is also equal to me and China, so I didn't realize how strong they started out. They are twice as strong as the start as I thought they were. As of right now, they still have the most production overall, but he hasn't expanded his land as much as, say, me and Shibi have. I've built up every island that I've taken to try to make everything a little independent. Every big island, big enough island. I use the word island here not just to mean island, but also a exclave, let's say, such as over here in South Korea, a location that's by itself. Oh yeah, I also wanted to build up some defenses in South Korea. And instead of fortifying the border, because I know I'll share it with one of them eventually, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to utilize the presence of military complexes and towns in this region along the roads. I'm going to fortify those with, fortifications. Maybe I'll throw in some air defenses behind them or something. And I'm going to set up a trench line, actually. Well, maybe I should do emplacements rather than trenches since I have time to block this little path off, because this is where an invasion would really spill in through. So I have a straight defense, not quite across the border, but in a far more defensible in general location. Also need some air defenses to make sure this stays secure, so we're going to put some air defenses behind the front line. Oh, you saw that? Yep, okay.
Well, that solved that problem, I guess.
Just before this started, I was actually warning Shibi that the fact that he leaves his military put away is a reason that he gets attacked so much, because the AI heavily underestimates what he has total. So now we have a war, another war that China's involved in, and we'll see if he wins it. If he does, that gives him more power in the region. That's going to freak Narfi out even more. But this may also be bad news for his military. He's been preparing for this.
Now Pakistan. Alright, whatever. Fucking bring it.
Oh boy. He probably provoked this a little bit himself, to be honest, because he was probably opposing their governments. So this is probably partially his fault. But he has spilled in, at least. Looks like he got a base here set up just in time. I can't see into him, but I don't know if I'm rooting for him or not, but he's going to take East Pakistan and Pakistan, completely engulf India at this rate, and gain access into the Middle East. He's the weakest, so that's good for me as the current strongest. I'm not sure what this will lead to. I was kind of hoping that maybe Pakistan would win at the beginning of the very scenario. I never sent them anything. I never really invested anything into them, because the war is not supposed to start for another 10 years. But we'll see how he handles this. Let's look at the losses so far. Pakistan's killed 6, lost 31, so this is going really, really good for him. He was actually prepared for an invasion when he got invaded, so that's actually pretty interesting. Pakistan doesn't have a lot of military production, so he's not going to get a lot stronger from taking this. He's going to lose troops by doing this, but yeah, his forces over here are spilling in very well. I'd say that Pakistan doesn't stand a chance. This opens up a lot more to him, and he doesn't even have to pay any world market opinion, because well, they attacked him. Hopefully, I don't know. But maybe he'll get Chittagong too. A coup d'etat in Argentina. I was opposing them, but this is not enough. I only recently started opposing them. This is not enough to get the justification I need to invade them. I'm probably just going to leave that, not support or oppose it. There are some other countries here that I'm going to start opposing, actually. Countries that I plan to invade, even ones that might be a little bit friendly with me for now. Stronghold America is my fallback strategy, no matter what else happens out in the world. We are satisfied with the world market now, so that's going up. The Soviets are still only... Well, now they've gone for Iran, so there's that. I'm going to condemn that. They're going to take that no problem.
Oh, called that one, right?
He has to do that now
That's
to stop
obvious, I think.
Shibi from getting it. But I saw this coming. So the Soviets are now... Oh, still only at indifference, so that didn't hurt them very much. And this war is not going to hurt them very much. And I'm not going to defend Iran. I'm just not. I'm not going to send my units over here to fight in somebody else's war. Looks like both of them are going to win their wars. China with a bit more difficulty, of course, because they're fighting an actual military. Pakistan's killed 8, lost 188. Oh my god, this war is going splendidly.
Well, Res, you wanted shenanigans. There you go.
This is a bit crazier than I expected at the beginning. I mean, I expected Iran, but Pakistan just throwing me for a loop. Alright, so China is sitting on 1 million military goods. USSR on 2 million. I'm actually sitting on over 7 million, which is quite impressive. Ah, he got East Pakistan. That's good for him, I guess. I don't know if that's good for me at all, but it's certainly good for him. This is definitely crazier than I expected at the start of this play session, that's for sure. Oh yeah, I'm also starting to have some uranium problems, and the price of uranium is skyrocketing due to situations. Situations being I'm starting to make nukes. Nuclear subs are coming too, so I need to really improve my uranium production by a lot. So we're gonna get started on that. And in true fashion, living up to my, well, fashion so far in the playthrough, I'm going to go overboard and build way more than I need. Because quite frankly, I can afford it. If I build it now, I don't have to build it later. And here in peacetime is the best time to build it.
I wasn't expecting that either.
So we're building 84 more uranium mines. We are going to produce more than we will need for a long, long time with this. Even though this area probably isn't the best supplied. Yeah, it's not the best supplied. We can make it a little better supplied by throwing like an air base down here. Maybe get rid of this little airfield in the meantime. Also, I did want to throw some air bases down south along the border with Mexico. Just in case, you know, we end up invading there or whatever. Even if they're close by to other air bases, just having some air bases down there would be helpful for spreading our supply in the region.
Ah, there he goes.
And Pakistan has fallen completely. He has annexed all of Pakistan, including East Pakistan. So he's definitely chunkier. That's really, really good for him anyway. Iran has not fallen yet. It's actually going slower than I expected. But he's outside Tehran already. Our first nuclear capital ship is showing itself, the Long Beach. It's not the best looking cap ship in the world, but I'll research it to replace what we're using now. We'll also get this gearing escort ship because it looks really, really good. And Iran has surrendered without as much of a fight. And there's some more border gore with Soviet Turkmenistan just taking a random-ass swath of the land. I don't know why that happens. This game needs a peace deal system. Even with all those uranium mines building, I'm not actually stretching my current supply of industry goods. I thought I would be, but surprisingly I'm not. That must mean all of our hydro we were building has finished. Let me see if there's any timber that I can squeeze in any of these uranium mines. There's a little bit. I'll definitely squeeze some in where I can over here with the uranium mines. Just to have them, because we're always going to need more timber, and it's still profitable for now to produce. The price of military goods is retardedly high. The world is short on them. Even though the three of us are producing more than we would ever need. A lot of countries just aren't producing any. Most countries are barely producing any, and I don't know if any of us are actually selling. Okay, China is actually selling military goods, and so is the USSR. So they're exporting. I'm not. I'm just kind of stockpiling. That's why my stockpile is so much larger, because I'm not selling. But I don't need the profit. Right now, I'm profiting from the fact that they're both supporting my government anyway. So, extra or not, we're fine for now. Our inflation's at 7.2, which is good. That's going to keep us growing steadily. I don't really need to build much of anything. Consumer goods is profitable. I think all of our Sri Lanka rubber should be built now. Yes, that's pretty good. So we're at a decent bonus here. Of course, still nothing compared to, say, Malaysia, but we have a good amount, and it's spread throughout the world, so we're not vulnerable to losing it in one sweep.
Well, I guess there won't be no Paco-Indo war.
Yeah, no. Unless somehow Pakistan gets freed. Yeah, he's leaving a lot more of his military deployed now, so he's definitely taking the advice that I gave him before the start of the game here. He's building... Oh my god. Oh, he's fortifying the hell out of Vladivostok region. Look at this. He's building actual fortifications. Does he intend to do this? This is a little excessive. Hey, Shibi. Just a question about all these fortifications you're building. You know you could build emplacements, which are a lot cheaper and wouldn't need a military complex either. So you would, like, save a lot of money while still getting some good defense.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can find them in the same place you find trenches. If you want to, like, save money on a lot of this stuff and save industry goods. Yeah, there you go. Just like that. They're their own special thing. They're the step up from trenches. Fortifications and military complexes are a step up from there, but the emplacements there are the better option. Oh my god, you're building so many. For that many, maybe you just want to build trenches. I mean, holy shit, but I mean, you do you, man. Something just blew up over here. What the hell? Alright. I still don't have a lot of my aircraft production online, which is surprising. I'll bring 2 more of them online. One thing with the production is he's staying ahead of me, he being Narfi, and I don't want to get more than him. But we started out with so much air production in the States that I don't want to have it all on at once unless I need to, and it's also a little bit excessive, honestly. Right now we're matching his aircraft production. His land production's gone up. He must be building more, because I know he didn't have that much. 29 naval. He's better than me in naval and land. Let's see if we can find him building anything. Not currently, but he probably just built a lot of stuff for sure. He has as much research as we do now, by the way, which is maybe not necessarily the best situation. Oh my god, China declared war on Afghanistan. He's really going at it. I was not expecting necessarily an invasion of Afghanistan, but he's not taking a break. Afghanistan has nothing. They don't even have anything to produce military. They have old World War II stuff sitting here, and that's it. I wonder if this will go better for him than his invasion during the Pakistan playthrough. Probably. With how small his military is, I'm surprised he's being so aggressive. But, I mean, he has amazing world market opinion, so he can definitely afford to make this push. And I guess he's doing this to respond to the USSR in the region. This is the last thing that's claimable in the region leading up to the USSR's Iran, so definitely a flashpoint. He's already taken Kabul, so very successful invasion for sure. There's definitely more. I don't know if the USSR plans on helping. Probably not. I wonder how our dear old Narfi is feeling about this very fast expansionism happening just next to him.
Yeah, Narfi doesn't like it.
He really is gonna have to rely on India to maintain peace, or well, some sort of influence in that region, because you know Nepal and Bhutan would fall instantaneously. India's all that's left there at this point.
Yeah, no. I have an expectation that this playthrough doesn't last 7 years at this rate.
I don't know. We'll see. More and more colonies are going to decolonize. Eventually, we're going to run out of small fry. Bigger wars are going to happen. But as it stands right now, I don't think anyone can be conquered currently. And I don't think anyone wants to try.
No, that's right.
There are still a lot of independent countries out there. Although, I know you are in a weird position because you've befriended so many countries that you would otherwise be fighting. That you've limited your rate at which you could really expand.
Yeah, I can focus on the Middle East, but
what happens once the Middle East is gone? You know, you befriended Western NATO, so you can't attack them without penalties. You've befriended, looks like, Sweden as well. You've limited your invasion opportunities for sure. But by the looks of it, you'll have plenty of opportunities for fighting China. I'm honestly surprised you didn't get involved in this war to some extent, considering you border Afghanistan.
yeah, I'm actually also surprised.
Because he's must be running his current army ragged. There it goes. Like, this is very fast expansionism. And I know your military is big no matter what you say. So I know that you could have given him hell trying to take any of these places. Out of curiosity, do you plan on defending Korea?
If I can get Vladivostok back, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Get near it.
I was gonna say, how are you? If you're gonna defend it, you would need to send troops there in advance. Currently.
Yeah, but I can because someone has my eastern border.
Wrong. You have a port that has access.
Now I'm looking, but
It's just a random military complex with a seaport in the middle of all the border gore, just slightly northeast of. Yeah, you see it?
yeah.
Yeah, so you can get out there very easily, in fact. Also, have you seen all these defenses he's building in Vladivostok? I don't know if he's going to give that up.
That's his problem then.
China has the largest military deployed because he's putting garrisons literally everywhere. I'm number 3, still behind India, so I could afford to do some garrison plans. I do need to build up some defenses in Hawaii if I'm going to garrison up the Pacific. Certainly. I am building up defenses on the Hawaiian Islands now and every port that I have there so that we can have max very protected garrisons eventually. I'm going to turn off garrison control from my minister and I'm going to assign garrisons kind of region by region. So one thing I'm going to do first and see how it affects me. Right now I have 1.68 mil deployed. I'm going to garrison up Alaska first because it's pretty vulnerable and in a way it's kind of valuable. So I'm going to maximize zones in the Alaskan battle theater that will apply to everything of importance I have, and also up here in Aklavik. I don't think I have a lot going down the chain, but I'll also do the island chain. I know I have that one base there as well. We're going to garrison out pretty much all of Alaska that has anything. We will make sure that has some good stuff. I'll watch what that does to my military, and then I'll start applying more garrisons in the future. We have indie goods, we have economy. I'm going to go ahead and build up more hydro plants while we're at it to expand our electrical production capacity. And this will actually be, for the most part, unless I dismantle some things, the rest of the total hydro plants we can build in this northeast region. Anything else, and oh, I missed a spot. Anything else, then we have to start going more southwest. Yeah, that is literally everything in the northeast hydro-wise. We have more spots elsewhere, but another 36 hydro should be enough for now. That keeps us at a negative usage of indie goods, which is not profitable to make anyway, so that's pretty fine. Cuba was spying on me, of course they were. A lot of the uranium mines are finishing. We're already past our production, and honestly, I was the top importer for this. I was the only one importing this to use it anyway, so this is going to be hilariously excessive. But, you know, we're getting it all out of the way right now. I know the Soviets have already built up their uranium, so my army staff's up to 1.71 million. The overall effect by the garrisons and newly deploying units so far has been pretty minimal, although the more that I start to garrison, the worse and worse this is going to get. Let's start with an area I know I've already gotten everything, and that would be the South Pacific. We're going to maximize garrisons in the South Pacific, but for us, that's only really a couple of islands. Well, that's all there would be total anyway, but we're just going to garrison up basically these little islands that are out here by themselves. I wanted to see Pakistan's total losses. So they only killed 8 units that whole war. They lost 275, 142,000 human casualties during the war. That's insane. You can see by land taken, China's over here with the highest amount of land taken, even though they accidentally gave up part of Inner Mongolia, which is apparently a rather decent chunk of land considering they're up here for total land taken, pretty high. We're still on the list for GDP per capita though. There's other countries getting way past us, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It keeps us productive and profitable when it comes to producing things, at least.
I think you broke my AI.
I broke your AI?
Yeah. Every time they want to go to that little piece that you own. Every time.
Well, they're just going where the ports are. They're not looking for what's beyond the ports.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Nice, nice counter you got there going, Narfi.
Yeah, I'm just reacting.
I can't see any of what you guys are seeing, so someone fill me in.
So I'm building the fortification. He's just building a shit ton of trenches.
Oh, I see. Well, this is an escalation of any kind.
Nah, just action and reaction.
Also, Narfi, you could turn off, like power down the ports you don't want to be using, I believe. And then they'll just ignore it.
I did not know that.
I've never powered down a port, but theoretically it would work. Welcome to 1956, guys. I think we might be, like, past where me and Shibi got to in our 1v1 PvP. So far, so good on getting the garrisons. We're only up to 1.72 million. Of course, the South Pacific has almost nothing. We are going to now put the garrisons in the North Pacific now that everything at Hawaii's done. There's a lot more here than in any of the other places I've done so far, so we'll see what that does to our military. But I'm starting with the smaller places for garrisons first. The point of this being that I don't have troops everywhere. And even if I do have troops, garrisons really help fortify a location, especially places that need to be navally invaded. If there's garrisons and troops waiting there, the landing can almost be assured to fail unless it is done in a very specific way. So I hope to make these places mostly immune to enemy offensives in the region. I don't really need any of this new infantry that unlocked. There was airborne, rangers, and green berets, but I'll research the green berets anyway. I don't know, maybe I'll make some, but probably not. What I need is new mechanized infantry to replace the M75. We're not quite there yet. I'm also going to go ahead, just for the hell of it. I'm going to fortify Guantanamo Bay to make it more defended and reliable, especially if we're going to invade Cuba. I know one of them is opposing Cuba in some way, because their military approval rating was down to like 40%, and I wasn't opposing it. So one of them has plans in Cuba, so securing Cuba might be smart to do sometime soon. It will buffer up the region here. Their military production would, well, it's like nothing. There's one land production, and that's it. But it would still buffer up my defenses in the region. It would give me one more land production for the Americas, and make me a little bit harder to take over in the long run. I could also go for an invasion of Mexico sometime soon. I do have them technically surrounded now if I just send more troops down here. I'm pretty sure that if I do that, then the Soviets are going to get involved in some way, be it selling troops or sending troops. Probably selling troops. I don't think they could send troops here in time. But selling troops, certainly. Shibi's working on some pretty interesting infrastructure over here in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Let me, Hey Shibi, just to let you know, you don't need to build a radar station and an air defense on the same hex because the air defense systems have better visual range than the World War II radar stations do.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
Oh my god, he has 71 production now? Oh my god, yeah, he must be building up. Right now, I only see air bases being built, and that's over in the west. Let's check over here in the Soviets, just supply depots. He's supplying his east. They're just constantly building up towards a larger war against each other. They're both expanding their military production rapidly. Like, they both left me in the dust again for total land production. And they're really focusing land, by the looks of it, for new buildings. I'm doing more of a spread. Let's turn on a couple more aircraft productions. Let's put it up to 34. The more air we get overall in the Americas, the harder we get to be besieged in America, because I could just curb stomp them by selecting, you know, all my air forces here and then sending them on some, well, a giant curb stomp, really. It could also be handy when fighting Mexico to have a big-ass air force waiting nearby. We're starting to unlock some new researches. Not all of them look the best. Like this plane is such short range. It's designed for short-range operation off a carrier. We're not going to use that because we're not using carriers. There's some others here that are looking pretty nice. I think I'm going to go with the older, cheaper Thunder Chiefs as opposed to the Skyhawks. They can't move as far or anything, but they're a little cheaper, and their offensive stats for tactical bombing on land is a bit better. They also move faster, so they can get in and out of the combat zone easier. The Starfighter is another one of these just really shitty multi-rolls. It's like a land-based version of that other one. It just doesn't go very far. Our current stuff is old, but it goes much further and thus is a lot more useful. It's also not as expensive, so I'm going to skip over the Starfighter and all that jazz. One thing really worth looking at here is we can build the B-52G Strata Fortress. May not be better than some other things, but we're going to get it.
Hey Raz, can I get a sea transit for a minute? Just to get my battleships out.
Trying to declare war on Mongolia. Do you still need that?
No, not right now.
Like, do you still need that? I'm not so sure you need that anymore. I think your focus is gonna be land for a hot minute. Good luck, Shibi.
Thank you.
Let me know if he responds heavily. I'm really curious.
Yeah, well.
Be careful to defend every village that you take. Those are your lifeblood for advancing there. Move slowly but steadily.
Yep. Yeah, he's responding.
I'm gonna get treaties with Korea because I don't plan on invading them. Tunisia
he's
got
responding.
independence. Africa is freeing. How heavily is he responding?
Moderately.
Alright.
Heavy enough. He's bringing up tanks and infantry for damn sure.
Yeah, this is basically how I expected his response to be. The fighting's going to be limited to Mongolia. So long as you don't bum rush troops forward, work with the supply, because you're both working in terrible supply conditions, but especially you. Defend those villages, and he can't push it any farther or anything. It's up to you, but would you be willing to give me line of sight so I could see what's happening here? Because I don't have anything with Mongolia. You don't have to. Yo, guys, if you're going to be fighting, maybe we should, like, lower the speed a little bit.
I haven't even noticed.
Jesus fucking Christ, you madman. Okay, so you got a lot of forces in the region, that's for sure. Yeah, keep it... Yo, defend the village... Right, once you get on the villages, build up garrisons and put down, like, you know, maybe an air base and some supply depots, or just, like, 3 supply depots each village, and then you can slowly push your way forward, no matter how much he tries to grind on you here.
Yeah, I can't even see where the fuck the villages are with all my troops everywhere.
One thing I noticed is that you usually don't do a lot of recon. Get some recon spies going if you can, and put them behind the lines near villages on his side and Mongolia's side, and then you can get an idea of how many troops he has. That's one thing. When I invaded Austria, you never saw how many troops I had. And as we're seeing coming down the road right now, there can be massive clumps that you just don't know about.
Yes, I see your point.
Looks like China's push is going decently. Some of these road pushes aren't going to go anywhere, but there's a massive fight between them here. The Russians do have a way to escape the slaughter. I don't really know if I can keep track of the kills and losses here, but this is essentially another big PvP. The USSR is going to defend this, and I'm going to try to take advantage of it and try to get something in on the USSR while he's distracted by the weakest player.
Go, my outdated Air Force, go!
Morocco achieves independence from France. Alrighty. I'm gonna... Oh, man, the Soviet Air Force is there, too. Careful. The Soviet Air Force is there. You're gonna have some problems. If you can keep this going... I don't know if you can win in the current situation, but if you can keep this going, definitely you'll be able to harm him. And I could maybe do something else to harm him in the meantime. Although, I didn't know you were going to do this now, so I have to move some troops to maybe get something. They're up on the capital. Looks like he's doing a bad job protecting it.
Yeah, because I outflanked it.
I'll keep an eye on this for sure. Any estimate on how many, like, units you think you've killed?
Yeah, he's gonna win this.
Maybe about 20 or 30.
He's going to win it.
Yeah.
Do you not have enough troops in the area?
No, they are just on his way, but they're not gonna get in time.
Look at the new capital. It's in a pretty good spot. So long as you can hold the road and hold the line against Shibi, like maybe you can do something. Because that's a pretty out there location. The supply pushing out there wouldn't be easy for him. And your Air Force is way better than his, by the way. Like, he's using early 40s British planes. You could definitely get something going over there. If you move I don't know how much your Air Force is over there, really. But I know what airplanes he has. So watching this war, I'm really hoping it lasts a little bit longer. Like, maybe another month or so in game, at least.
Trying to keep him occupied on my main force while I do encirclements.
Because if it does keep going... Oh, man, he's going to take the new capital. He's not... Oh, he took it. Oh, this might end. This might end right now. Oh, well, we'll see. Because unfortunately, if this ends when it ends, yeah, okay. Damn. That was really effective.
Get out of my territory, Narfi.
You asshole.
I couldn't move my troops in time. So, since I couldn't move my troops in time, it would be difficult to do what I was going to do. I was going to try to invade Yugoslavia, is what I was going to try to do, while he was distracted by all this. Let me place some recon spies to get an idea of the situation in different parts of Yugoslavia. and the Warsaw Pact as well. He could end up seeing these spies, but so long as none of them are on his territory, it should be fine. I could always change my target and go for Austria instead. I think he's less likely to cause anything big if I go for Austria, but he's also likely to see it coming, because Yugoslavia can actually defend themselves. I was going to go for them because they're a better base in the region. I'm not sure now. Good job, Shibi. I didn't expect you to do that so effectively. I'm very impressed. No, he's going to get more and more focused on you.
Oh, I know.